When we imagine ancient world power, we picture fleets of ships, naval battles, and control of the seas. Athens had triremes. Rome dominated the Mediterranean. Britain built an empire on oceans. But Persia ruled the largest empire the world had ever seen without relying on naval dominance, without fixed borders, and without ruling by fear alone. From Egypt to India, millions obeyed a king they would never meet. So here is the mystery. How did an empire with no oceanic core and no permanent frontiers control nearly half the known world, and why did that system ultimately fail? Persia began not as a superpower, but as a marginal highland people in modern-day Iran. They had no great cities, no legendary armies, and no maritime tradition. What they did have was experience surviving between stronger neighbors Elamites, Assyrians, Babylonians. The turning point came with Cyrus the Great in the 6th century BCE. Instead of conquering through destruction, Cyrus introduced a radical idea: rule through integration. When Persia conquered Babylon, it didn't burn it. It preserved its temples, respected its gods, and kept local elites in power. This wasn't kindness, it was strategy. Every conquest taught Persia the same lesson: control people by preserving their world, not erasing it. 2. The rise. An empire without oceans, as Persia expanded under Cyrus Cambyses and later Darius I. It became clear that naval power was optional, but logistics were not. Darius reorganized the empire into satrapies, or provinces, each with a governor, a tax system, and legal autonomy. Instead of borders, Persia relied on roads. The royal road stretched over 1,500 miles, enabling messages to cross the empire faster than any rival state. This wasn't just communication, it was surveillance, taxation, and rapid response combined. Persia also standardized currency, weights, and taxes, creating one of the earliest financial systems capable of sustaining an empire this large. The empire didn't need ships to move power. It moved information, loyalty, and money. The twist: many regions preferred Persian rule to independence. Taxes were predictable. Religions were tolerated. Local laws remained intact. But systems that scale quickly can break. Suddenly, as Persia grew, the cost of loyalty increased. Satraps became powerful. Corruption spread. Rebellions became more frequent, not because Persia was cruel, but because it was too distant. The Persian kings attempted to project power westward into Griza region built on sea, not imperial obedience. Unlike Egypt or Babylon, Greece resisted integration. The failure to subdue Greece wasn't just military, it exposed a structural flaw. Persia could govern diversity, but struggled against decentralized resistance. 4. Fallout. The illusion of stability. After Darius and Xerxes, Persia still looked strong. The roads functioned, taxes flowed, armies marched, but underneath, loyalty had become transactional. When Alexander of Macedon invaded, many cities opened their gates, not because they loved Alexander, but because Persian rule no longer felt inevitable. The empire collapsed faster than it rose. 5. Failed fixes, too big to adapt. Persia attempted reforms: more troops, harsher enforcement, tighter oversight, but these fixes attacked symptoms, not causes. The empire's strength had been flexibility. Its failure was losing that flexibility while trying to preserve control. 6. Modern parallels. The pattern repeats today. Empires no longer rely on ships, either. Power flows through supply chains, financial systems, data, and infrastructure. Modern superpowers dominate not by occupying territory, but by shaping rules, currencies, and networks, just like Persia. And the data is sobering. History shows that most large systems collapse not from invasion, but from internal overextension and loss of legitimacy. 7. 3 takeaways. Power doesn't require borders-only systems people depend on. Tolerance can be a weapon, but only if it's maintained. The faster an empire scales, the faster it can unravel. Final thought. Persia proved that oceans don't create imperious organization, but it also showed that when control replaces consent, even the most advanced system becomes fragile. If this ancient pattern feels familiar, It should. Call to action if you want more deep dives into how ancient systems shape the modern world. Like, subscribe, and share because history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. And we're still living inside the verse.